Hey, it's me, Vicky Marie, and good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in this crazy world we're living in. And it's getting crazier by the day. So, in this video, we're going to have a look at some scenes from Spain. Uh, I, I'm virtually speechless about what's happened in some parts of Spain. Luckily, I've not been affected. My area is not affected. We had a bit of rain. I was quite enjoying the rain. I feel awful now because, I do quite like a bit of rain because of, we don't get it very often. But this is the problem. It's like goes from one extreme to another. Spain has been crying out for rain, needing rain for the crops, etc. And then suddenly this that's come out of nowhere, and people are, the sort of the shock of it all is sort of turning into real anger now towards the authorities, towards the Spanish government, because people feel that they weren't warned enough. There was no warning. People, literally, the warnings came out for this weather for these people in the affected areas. The warnings came out 10 minutes after it had started. And I mean, it all happened in 10 minutes as well. It was like instant. And then it finished as soon as it started. It was like one of those, it was like a cataclysmic flash, if you like, almost in the grand scheme of things. But in that cataclysmic flash, it caused absolute devastation and at least 205 deaths. It's going to go up because they're only just, starting to clear all the traffic. There are cars that they're having to sort of go through. And there are people dead, families dead inside the cars. So the death toll, you can be 100% certain the death toll is going to go up. Now, the good thing, there's always some, you do see the best of people as well in these sort of crises, don't you? The way that Spain, Valencia in particular, but the whole of Spain has come together. Now I'm on the avatar because I'm really emotional. I've prepared a video with some scenes in it, and I just need to warn you. Some of them, I've tried to show some positive ones as well, but some of them are really upsetting, really emotional to know what these people have gone through. But of course, people have banded together. They've gone off there, all the people from the local area, because it struck in the suburbs of Valencia, and the centre of Valencia, city centre, wasn't really affected. So all the people from the city centre, hundreds, maybe thousands of people went to help with the clear up yesterday. And because, of course, it's bank holiday weekend in Spain, because it's the Day of the Dead yesterday, 1st of November, All Souls Day. I mean, it all just seems like, it's like you couldn't make it up in a film. It's All Souls Day. And, people are giving up their day to go and help these people clear up. Their lives have been ruined, all their possessions ruined. But they were lucky if they actually hung on to their lives, So it's awful. Because for weeks they've been forecasting that they have been saying for weeks there was going to be, a severe risk of flooding. But the thing is, they don't know exactly when it's going to come. So when it finally comes, we have been warned for weeks and weeks. So there's a Dana coming. We'll keep you informed. It's been sort of been forecast, but they didn't know. But when it actually came, they were slow, they just haven't got a clue, these weather forecast things. But anyway, never mind. And that's what people are angry about how quick it came. And then they're angry because they say that the army didn't arrive for 3 days to help. So, if it wouldn't have been for local people, these people were just mean, the fire brigade and everything were there, the mountain rescue. You know, we're going to see some scenes from the mountain rescue people, the ones that were looking for Jay Slater, going into garages that are full of water with cars in them, not knowing what they're going to find in there. There could be people in there. I mean, it's just horrible. The whole thing is horrible. So yeah, I'm going to show you a series of short videos put together in one longer video. And just to warn you, some of the scenes are absolutely awful, devastating. And then, you know, somebody sent me an email and said, you know, do you think it's like the end of days? I mean, it feels like that. When you watch this video, just feel like some biblical sort of, just awful, you know. And if you read the book of Revelations, and it talks about things like this happening, and makes you wonder, doesn't it? Is it the end of days? And a lot of people still don't believe in climate change. You know, a lot of people still don't believe in it, and people just carrying on, you know, denying it, denying climate change. But I don't think you can deny it anymore. You know, it's like people have been reluctant to believe it, but it's got to be true, I think. And you know, you just, there's going to be a lot of, you know, they talk about economic migration or immigration, etc. There's going to be climate immigration, because there's going to be people that are looking for a place that's safe. You know, I mean, they've never had anything like this in Valencia, never. So this is a complete new thing that's happened there in that area. But anyway, so first of all, just before we go to the video, and as I say, warning, I'm giving you fair warning, there's a lot of very distressing scenes on this video, but there are some positive scenes as well. I just want to say thank you to all my subscribers. Special thank everyone who likes the videos, watches the videos. Special thanks to the members, as always. Special thanks to everyone who sent me a super sticker, PayPal'd me, bought me a Ko-fi, etc. Thank you so much. Anyone who has contributed to my channel in any way, thank you. Now I'm going to say hello to you all. You'll see Nightbot. I've got the hang of Nightbot. The only trouble is it's on a 15-minute thing. It will come out every 15 minutes. I haven't worked out how to change it to maybe half an hour. So just but Nightbot is working, so that's good, and it's not banning everyone from the channel. Okay, so hi Claire, hi David, hi Kelly, hi Ali, hi Misty. Yeah, I showed that one, Kelly, the helicopter rescue, on the last video that I did. Yeah. Yeah, I think everybody needs to address it, to be honest. Everybody has to, you know, not only China, you know, it's everywhere. Because the thing is, the countries that they don't want immigrants, but they're the ones that are causing the climate change and causing misery for people, you know, and I'll include Spain in that. You know, we're all probably not recycling it, and I include myself in it as well. You know, maybe not recycling as much as we should. I don't know. I do try my best not to ever use single-use plastic. You know, I've got things that plastic, but I use them over and over again. Everything, you know, but we can all do our little bit, I suppose. But I know there's probably lots of countries, you know, not doing anything. I don't know what China's like for recycling, but of course there's a lot of plastic comes out of China, doesn't it? Everything's plastic. You know, what's the answer? Anyway, that's probably for another video. What can we do to reduce climate change? Can we, or is it too late? You know, a lot of people think it's too late. It doesn't matter what we do now, it's gone too far. You know, it's a bit worrying, isn't it? We can all start being vegetarians, I suppose. That's something. I don't know. They say that if you become a vegetarian, we're not you know, farm animals cause. Do you know what? I don't know enough about it, so I can't really comment on it because I haven't researched it, but I will research it for another video. Okay, so let's have a look at this video now. As I say, be warned, there's quite a lot on. Hi, Matthew. There's quite a lot of dramatic footage in this video, and quite a lot of it may be distressing. So, fair warning. Okay, so first video. This is the Guardia Civil, the Montaña, the mountain police, the mountain Guardia Civil. These were the ones that, not these particular ones, because obviously that was in Tenerife. But this is the organisation that was involved in the search for Jay Slater. So you can see they've got what's the word I'm looking for? You know, they've got a varied task to do. So they're Guardia Civil Montaña. They're not up a mountain here. They're going into these flooded basements and not knowing what they're going to find. Not knowing what they're going to find and how awful. You know, they could find bodies floating around. They're going into the cars and there could be bodies in the cars for all they know. They just don't know. Now, you know, so this could be all of these videos that you're going to see here, these short videos all put into one long video, they all could be off a film, off a disaster film. You know, you couldn't make this up. I've never seen anything like it, and I can't believe this has happened in the country that I live in. And I feel lucky, if you like, for us, for my area, to have escaped this. And I feel proud. You know, I'm not Spanish, but I've lived in Spain nearly half my life. And, you know, I feel Spanish in some ways. There's a lot of things that are annoying about living in Spain. As you know, I'm always moaning about the neighbours talking in the street and the chihuahuas and everything. But generally, Spanish people, they're very helpful, you know, in times of crisis like that. Even here in my street, even my neighbours, I know that if I went out one morning, my car didn't start, they'd be there getting it, you know, helping me get it started and everything. They like to help. They like to get involved in community. They're very community spirited, the Spanish. And, you know, that's got its good things and its bad things. You know, it's annoying when they're all stood in the street talking all hours of the day and night. But it's good when you need some help, they'll be there to give it you. Oh, and by the way, for those of you who saw my video where I was saying about my car that I thought I'd put gasoline in it, petrol in it instead of diesel. Now it's carried on working all week, and I went back to the garage this morning and I had put petrol in. I got them to check whether it was petrol or diesel that I'd put in, and it was. I put petrol in my diesel car. So anyway, it's still working. And the guy said to me, because you must have had, because it wasn't empty when I put it in. I already had a bit of petrol, you know, not loads, but enough petrol in it, diesel in it. He said, you need to fill it up with as much petrol as you can now. And so I filled it up. And anyway, it's working okay now. So, gosh, I was very lucky there. Anyway, hi, BF. Yes, I count myself very lucky. You know what? Really lucky, because that could have been the end of the car, or I might have had to call someone out and get it all siphoned off and cleaned up, and that would have cost a fortune. So, yeah, it's working okay now. Touch wood. So I would imagine they've got to check all the cars, just make sure there's not a body in it, isn't it? Because anybody could have just parked up there And then these floods come and bump. Oh, honestly, they came so quickly. People were taken completely by surprise, and that's what's made it worse. Yeah, it's the speed that it happened that has made it worse. Oh, Claire, there's a lot of animals being killed, I'm afraid. The animal refuges have been inundated, and it's not nice. It's not nice. So when I sent my bag of clothes and everything over to the bar where my son works, because everywhere's been collecting clothes, dog food, because of course a lot of these refuges, dog and cat food, because they have food stored up, but it'll have been ruined because if it's not in tins, because it'd be dried food probably, but that's in bags, isn't it? Tins probably will survive this, but anyway, so I've sent some harnesses and collars and leads and things, that old ones that I don't use anymore. They're appealing for towels for people.
Después de 3 días hemos encontrado una persona con vida dentro de un coche, con lo cual.
Now, here's a positive. So I told you there'd be some positive things in here. It won't all be depressing. But this guy is announcing that after 3 days, so this all happened on Wednesday. I was thinking about these people got up on Wednesday morning like normal to, their daily route, went about their daily routine, did whatever they normally do on a Wednesday morning. And then in the evening, their whole life changed just like that. Anyway, this guy, this video is saying that after 3 days, so this would have been yesterday, they found someone alive in a car. So there may still be some good news stories like that. If people had water in their car, well, they won't be struggling for water, that's for sure. But there may still be people alive out there waiting to be rescued. Maybe it's not all just recovering bodies. Let's hope that, because there's so many people missing, families, children, that's without animals and things, because they don't talk about the animals really. Obviously the people are priority, but so sad for the animals. He's covered in mud, but anyway, they've found someone alive in a car, which is brilliant.
Después de 3 días hemos encontrado una persona con vida dentro de un coche, con lo cual.
What a bit of good news. Bit of good news.
Estamos trabajando en un.
Todo esto estaba bajo 4 metros de agua.
So this one, not so cheerful, I'm afraid. So this is a fireman talking, and there's a tunnel. See this tunnel? Look at it. They've got to get through all. They've got to start going through all this debris. Cars. There's cars there. There are dead people in the cars. I don't know how many, but there are. And he's just saying what they've got to do. They've got to, because they're trying to get, because the other problem is, because of these floods and everything, there's a lot of problems. The roads have been cut off and everything, because some of the ways through are like this, just full of debris and everything. So they've got to clear all the debris, rescue, or not rescue, but, get as many bodies out as, if there's bodies in these cars, they've got to be removed and taken off. It's just a horrible job, isn't it?
Estamos trabajando en un un túnel que estaba inundado hasta arriba de agua, con 7 metros de agua. Lo hemos
So apparently there was 7 meters of water in this tunnel. God, that would be my worst nightmare, to be in the tunnel when the water came as well. I think, you know, just the thought of being trapped down there in a tunnel with all that water coming in, and what would you do?
achicado entero de agua y dentro hay como 30, 40 vehículos. Hay fallecidos en el interior, entonces, ¿qué vamos a hacer? Proceder a la extracción de todos esos medios, de todos esos vehículos, de las víctimas.
So there's about 40 vehicles that they've got to get out, and in some of those vehicles there are deceased people.
Y la tarea principal es atascarla. Se están sumando compañeros de la provincia de Málaga y de toda Andalucía en nuestro PMA que tenemos propio, y ya está. Estamos con las pilas al 300% todavía.
So a lot of other organisations are going in to help. So not only the local sort of fire service and that, people are coming from surrounding villages, etc. Said they're still working at 300%. That's what he said. We're working at 300%.
Y la verdad que cada día que pasa ves el desastre más grande. No creo que volvamos a vivir un desastre como este. Yo por lo menos.
Says every day, every moment that passes, the disaster looks worse and worse. And that's what I thought this morning when I started. I just thought, I'll see what's going on, you know, in Valencia. And then when you start watching these videos and things, just think, oh my God, you know, and it's getting worse and worse and worse because, you know, they're discovering more and more bodies, etc.
Bueno, no creo que lo vuelva a vivir. Y nada, aquí vamos a estar hasta que consigamos desatascar las vías principales de la ciudad.
So he said what we're trying to do is unblock, you know, the main routes in and out of the city. So now this next video is, these are like local farmers and everything bringing their vehicles in to help. So there's just a massive line of people bringing in their, you know, these are personal vehicles that people are bringing in from their farms, etc. To try and help, because, you know, people are being trying to you know, people have been trying to, it's the mud. The worst thing now that it's gone through is the mud that's been left. There's just mud everywhere. And they're trying to, I think they're really struggling to get rid of the mud. Just amazing how many, you know, this line of tractors. Now, this video, this is the bridge around the centre of Valencia. So the people that live in the centre, in the city centre, they haven't been so badly affected. So they're the ones that, look at them, how many of them all gone yesterday to help with the clear up. Look at that. I mean, it is amazing how many people going to help. It makes me fill up, it makes me emotional. That's the best of Spanish people. You know, they do have an amazing sense of community. So look at that mud. You just think they're sort of shoveling it from one side to the other, all their possessions ruined. Just unbelievable. But it makes you now, of course, you do get bad people as well. So there's been a lot of looting, so there's been a lot of people arrested, as you can imagine, people taking advantage of the chaos to go looting shops and things like that. There has been that as well. But, you know, you've got to just concentrate on the positive, and most people, it's positive. Hi, Maria. So, yeah, I expect it is exactly what it'd be like in Armageddon. You know, God, you know, I'm a big fan of The Walking Dead, and the reason that I like the series The Walking Dead is because it gives you an insight into what would people be like in these situations. So what you'd get the good people would come to the fore, wouldn't they? But they would always be the twonks as well. There'd be you know, people who are not good and not helping each other, etc. So there'd be a bit of everything, I suppose. But it's just amazing seeing all those people going out. So there's like a bridge that goes out of the city into the sort of the suburbs, and that's them all on the bridge crossing over yesterday to go and help. It's amazing, really, isn't it? Look at them, so many people. This is when they're coming back at night time. The thing is, you can't drive in there, so they've had to walk over the bridge because the whole place is just at a standstill, or was. I don't know. This was, I think this was yesterday, the 1st of November. So maybe they've got, you know, I don't know how far they've got in clearing things. It's going to take forever. Oh, hang on.
De todos esos vehículos, de las víctimas, y la arteria principal es
Oh, this is the one we saw
Se están
earlier.
sumando compañeros de la provincia de Málaga.
For their fellow citizens. In part, it is driven by anger at how little the government appears. Suburbs of Valencia that were so badly hit on Tuesday night, it is quite spontaneous. It's a national holiday here in Spain. Many of these people would have been going away for a long weekend. Instead, they abandoned those plans, picked up brooms, mops, buckets, shovels, anything they could find in their home to come down here and see what they could do for their fellow citizens. In part, it is driven by anger at how little the government appears to be doing. What we have seen of the damage there suggests that what is really needed is heavy equipment, lifting equipment, that sort of stuff to get people back into their homes. But if it's not there, they're going to do what they can. They are angry too that not enough warning was given on Tuesday night, that all the alerts went out much too late. All of that will play out politically in the days and weeks ahead, but in the meantime, they are simply here to do whatever they can.
De personas que han acudido, calles de Paiporta están tomadas por miles y miles de personas que han acudido.
So this is the town that was the worst hit. There were at least 40 bodies found from this little town alone. I think it's called Paiporta or something. It was a place I'd never even heard of, to be honest. So it's just a little town outside Valencia. Oh, and another thing I just wanted to say, apparently the only bridge that survived, if you like, was a Roman bridge that was built, a Roman dam, sorry, not a bridge, that was obviously built in Roman times. That stood the force of these floods, which is interesting. So if they're saying, you know, nobody could build like the Romans.
Ayudar y con provisiones El problema es que todavía queda mucho agua y barro en las calles del centro, las más afectadas. Hay no menos de 30 o 40 centímetros y la gente lo que tiene para recogerlo son cepillos, palas y poco más. Esparcen el barro.
Yeah, so what this lady's saying, the journalist or whoever's taking the video, is saying that they're trying to clear all this mud with brushes and spades and things, but they need, you know, like proper equipment. Where is the proper equipment? So this is why they're angry with the government. They said they didn't get in there quick enough. I think they're there now. The army are there now, but apparently it took 3 days for the army to arrive there.
De un sitio a otro, pero no parece que sirva para mucho. Se han quitado los coches que taponaban las principales vías, pero hay cientos y cientos y cientos hechos amasijos, retorcidos unos sobre otros en todas las calles de todo el pueblo. Calles de Paiporta están tomadas por miles y miles de personas que han acudido a ayudar y con provisiones. El problema es que todavía queda mucho agua y barro en las calles del centro, las más afectadas. Hay no menos de 30 o 40 centímetros y la gente lo que tiene para recogerlo son cepillos, palas y poco más. Esparcen el barro de un sitio a otro, pero no parece que sirva para mucho. Se han quitado los coches.
It's definitely people power, isn't it? It just shows how powerful people are, or can be, you know, when they all get together.
Que taponaban las principales vías, pero hay cientos y cientos y cientos hechos amasijos, retorcidos unos sobre otros en todas las calles.
Now, just to let you know, this video is... Oh, I put it back to the beginning. I didn't mean to do that. This next video we're going to watch is really dramatic and upsetting, so just to warn you.
Ayudar y con provisiones. El problema es que todavía queda mucho agua y barro en las calles del centro, las más afectadas. Hay no menos de 30 o 40 centímetros y la gente lo que tiene para recogerlo son cepillos, palas y poco más. Esparcen el barro de un sitio a otro, pero no parece que sirva para mucho. Se han quitado los coches que taponaban las principales vías, pero hay cientos y cientos y cientos hechos amasijos, retorcidos unos sobre otros en todas las calles.
Yeah, this is a dramatic video. God, no.
¡Salid de la calle! Por favor, que nos manden ayuda, por favor. No podemos seguir así.
A dog. You know, when I first saw this picture, one of my Facebook friends,
Por favor, que nos manden ayuda, por favor. No podemos seguir así.
all the doggies. Yeah, when I first saw this picture, a Facebook friend of mine shared it, and I thought, that can't be real. Honest to God, I thought it was photoshopped. When I first saw it, I thought, that can't be real. This was, you know, right at the beginning. I thought, that cannot be real, that picture. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
por favor, que nos manden ayuda, por favor. Una cosa que hace.
Now, this is a very dramatic video too, but it does have a positive outcome. So it's nice to see something positive. So this guy, he's sort of stuck there, and there's a car coming towards him. So these people are trying to rescue him. Again, I mean, I don't even know if he even knows those people, but it just shows you what people can do when they get together. They get their sheets out and lower them down to him. And he's sort of stuck there. That car's back sort of been forced onto him. Oh, God. And there he goes. They just pull him up. Oh, and the way they embrace each other is so lovely. God, I bet he's hanging on to that balcony for dear life. How's he going to get over it? I just think I don't know what I'd do. I think I'd just have to go with, just have to go, because look at that car backs right into it. You just can't do anything against nature. You can't do any, I don't even know really what the government could have done. Even if they would have, it all happened so quickly. What could they do? Literally, you're going to see a lady being interviewed at the end, and she said it literally was 10 minutes. Just 10 minutes, everything changed. God. Because there were people walking in that street, when it was raining heavy, and then they started seeing a little bit of water coming up, etc. But they never realised it was. Then within 10 minutes, it was like that. Just happened, just like that. Oof, God! I bet he had a big whiskey when he got inside. My God.
Ay.
Unbelievable.
Se ha roto del todo el puente.
Oh.
Mira, se acaba de derrumbar esa casa, tío, esa pared.
Nosotros no podemos estar en el primer piso, pero enfrente tengo a unas personas mayores, hay una cuidadora con ellos.
No lo sé, no sé de qué. Ni nosotros tampoco sé de qué.
Vamos.
Oh my God. So that's because it went through the campo. That's why it took with it all those branches and like reeds and things. You know, the thing is though,
Mira. Por lo que el pantano ese Brian.
they look at that guy just sat there. I mean, is he mad? The guy just sat there on the bench.
Mira. Por lo que el pantano ese Brian.
Things. Look, he sat there because it's coming. God knows what happened to him because it might have started coming in slowly. He's just sat there on the bench as if he hadn't got a care in the world. And there's a bloody tsunami coming towards him. Good God.
Mira que crecía, papa, mira que crecía. ¿Tú crees que esto es normal? Mira, mira la calle, el médico. Mira la calle cómo va para abajo, de agua.
María, la furgoneta baja por ahí. Mira la que nos hemos librado.
Mamma mía, la crecía como viene.
It's like some nightmare, isn't it? It's like some nightmare. Right, now this video. Now, when I first started watching this, I thought, what the hell is this guy doing? You know, because he's trying to drive his JCB through this water. I thought, oh my God, he's going to go over the edge of the bridge or something. But anyway, when you see what he is trying to do, this is an uplifting video. And this, again, it just shows, look, I'm getting emotional again, the bravery of people, because this guy's putting his life at risk, really, I think. Is that how he never went over the edge, I don't know. But, you know, because you can't rely that much on a JCB. Hi, Jen. So I'm thinking, when I'm watching this at first, I'm thinking, what the hell is he doing? You know, what on earth is he doing? What is he possibly hoping to achieve? And then in a minute, you see what he's trying to do. It does. It just makes me cry. God, I cry at anything. I'm crying when it's sad. I'm crying when it's happy. So he saves this family. God, just brave. That is so brave, I think. We'll watch it one more time. Yeah, I just remember. I'm thinking, well, he's never going to get rid of all that water with that JCB, you know, because at first they didn't realise what he was doing, but of course he's trying to save this family. Oh, he's trying to save a family that's stuck there. Bloody deserves a medal, that guy, I tell you, because that water could have just pushed him over the edge. You know, and you're right, BF, people are awesome. I mean, they can be absolute twonks as well. You know, but it's funny, isn't it? It's people are so irritating in many ways, but, you know, basically when people need help, save them. A family. God. How that water didn't push him off the edge of the bridge, I just don't know. Terrifying. Oh, then the next thing is, so here's the, right, apparently the French fire brigade have arrived as well, and they just decided they were coming anyway to help. And they didn't bother asking the government or asking anyone if they could go. They just went. Because you know what the French are like, they just do what they feel like, they don't bother. They were surprised they're not having a strike about it. But anyway, so this is the French bombers. I think they're called bombers as well. Like, you know, the Spanish fire brigade are called the bomberos. And in Valenciano, in the language of Valencia, they're bombers. They're bombers. So, and I think the French are called the same thing. But yeah, this is the French fire brigade coming to help, despite not having authority to do it. It's going to be years before these people get back to normal. Years. You know, that's going to take so much clearing up.
Algo está pasando ahí.
Now, this is quite distressing, just to let you know. This guy's walking through the street. The guy in the flat. So this is as it's just starting. That guy's walking in the street, not realizing, just what's coming. And the guy that's taking the video, you can hear it, like he starts off going, "Oh, what's happening down there? Oh, what's that man doing?" Sort of quite calm. And then when he realizes, as the water accelerates, the cars start flowing past, it all gets really panicking. He's shouting to this guy, "Get out of the street, get out of the street."
¿Qué le pasa? Está gritando, ayudadme.
So he doesn't realize, this guy who's taking the video doesn't realize yet exactly just how bad it is, what's happening. And he's saying, "What's happening to that guy?" He's shouting, "Help me, help me."
Uy, ahí hay mucha corriente ya. No, que se suban a las casas.
He said, "Oh God, there's a lot of current now. It's going into the houses."
Pero hombre, ¿cómo te metes por ahí? En esta calle no hay corriente. Que se meta aquí, hombre, la gente.
And he's saying that in the other street that he moved the camera to, there is no water. It's all coming down that street. So that guy that was walking down the street, he's probably going to check on his car or something. You know, this is the sort of thing that people do. They see the rain, and before they knew that what was going to happen, they'd be thinking, "Oh, I hope my car's all right," or maybe he's got stuff in a garage down there or something. But they wouldn't realize at first the danger that they were in.
No, por ahí no puedes ir andando.
Because you can't go walking down there.
Vaya tela. Que está echando marcha atrás el de antes. Claro. Pero ¿por qué te metes en contradirección? Ay, que se está llevando un coche. Ahí va.
Oh.
Ahí va. Pero hombre, ¿cómo se mete en contradirección? Que se está llevando todos los coches. Todos los coches están... Claro.
It's taking all the cars. Oh dear. So you can see here he's getting panicky.
¡Madre mía! ¡Ay, que casi pilla al señor! ¡Madre mía!
All the screams and everything. He's saying, "Oh, that car's just hit the man." So don't know what happened to that man. It doesn't look very good.
¡Madre de Dios! Se está llevando todos los coches. Y ahora está entrando aquí el agua. ¡Madre de Dios! ¡Hombre, pero salid de la calle! ¿Y ese señor qué hace?
And he's just shouting, "Just get out of the street, get out of the street. What you doing, get out of the street."
Madre mía. La furgo del Tony.
And then that van must be the van of his friends, because he says, "Oh, Tony's van."
Madre mía, gente metida dentro de los coches y todo. ¡Quitaos de ahí, quitaos! ¡Salid de la calle!
So he's saying to them, get out of the street, get on some patio or something, get up to a patio, he's shouting to them. But there's people in these cars as well.
¡Meteos en un patio!
Y como la Benito Pérez Galdós, según cuentan, hay infinidad más.
So this is one particular guy filming his own street. You wouldn't think that was real, would you? Honest to God, when I saw these, I just could not believe these images, these pictures. That is one guy's particular street. All the cars, all the mud, all the water. And he's saying apparently there are loads more, an infinity more of, you know, similar to his street. This is just one street.
Fijaos, fíjate. Y así está la calle Benito Pérez Galdós. Así está. Y como la Benito Pérez Galdós, según cuentan, hay infinidad más. Fíjate, fijaos, fíjate. Y así está la calle Benito Pérez Galdós. Así está. Y como la Benito Pérez Galdós, según cuentan, hay infinidad más.
Me despedí de ella. Jessica, ahora es el momento.
Now, this is an interview with a woman who lost someone in this this incident. I think the reporter is really sort of intrusive, but anyway, the woman is being interviewed. She's given her permission to be interviewed. Now, I just want to say the language that you'll hear, they're speaking in a lot of Valenciano. Valenciano is a different language than Spanish. So a lot of the stuff that's coming up on the very bottom is in Valenciano, which I don't speak Valenciano. But then it seems to be superimposed over in Spanish, so I can translate it. But this girl, again, a warning because she's very upset.
De tots ajudar, però les imatges, el que heu viscut, és algo que no aneu a oblidar mai.
En la vida. O sea, en 10 minutos se acabó todo. Mi vecina me...
So she's never seen anything like it in her whole life, and in 10 minutes everything was over, finished. Everything was finished in 10 minutes.
Me despedí de ella y se acabó. Ha sido de verdad horroroso. En 10 minutos.
10 minutes, it's been absolutely horrible.
La gente con la que hablas, bajaba gente en coches, familias en coches, dentro.
There's cars, families inside the cars.
No hay palabras, de verdad.
She hasn't.
Mos estaves contant
No hay palabras, there's no words.
de la teua veïna. La teua veïna va ser una de les víctimes mortals que deixa esta dana, el temporal així a Chiva, i de fet el teu home va intentar anar a rescatarla.
Sí, mi hermano y él intentaron, ya al momento de llover mucho, cuando frenó un poco bajaron, le llegaba por el cuello, derrumbaron la puerta, pero...
So her brothers tried to rescue, there was a woman, I don't know if it's a relative of hers or whatever, but a woman anyway, that had been swept away by the water, and her brothers, when the rain sort of, they got a minute that they could get out, when it went down a little bit, they went down and got hold of the woman, but she was dead.
Estaba flotando ya, no había nada que hacer.
La trobaren sense vida ja.
Nada, boca abajo, muerta ya. Sin hacer nada.
Just face down, dead in the water. A disaster.
És la part personal, no, d'aixes víctimes que tampoc sabeu quantes persones, veritat, ha pogut deixar per terra, pel carrer.
No, porque...
No, Ali. Dana is the name of the floods. That's what they call the floods here in Spain. It's a dana. It's not the name of a person. La dana are the floods.
Que día tras día, cuando vamos viendo las cosas más claras, pues ayer accedieron a los polígonos. El polígono dicen que es descomunal, sin palabras. Aquí en la calle hay un pozo que están sacando a coches con gente dentro, familias, de todo. Entonces esto va a ser una desgràcia total.
Tu també tenies un negoci, afortunadament la teva família està bé, teníeu diversos pisos i vau poder pujar, però el negoci, per exemple, ho haveu perdut i ara estáis altres imatges.
Nada, el negocio, lo teníamos en la parte de arriba y cuando subimos los cristales de la tienda estaban reventados, no había nada dentro, solo era cañas, todo. O sea, no había nada, de verdad. O sea, es de película esto. Es que...
So she said it's like a film, all the windows were broken in and, it was just like a film.
Por más que quieras imaginarlo, si no lo vives, de verdad no lo crees.
She said as much as you might try and imagine it, unless you've lived through it, you just cannot imagine what it's like. Okay, so that's the end of the video that I prepared with all the different things. So looking at all that, is it, how do people feel about like Revelations, what it says in the Revelations in the Bible, that we're going to be overcome? Let's have a look what it says. Apparently power's been restored more or less now because they have no electricity either or anything. Imagine it, cold, wet, terrifying, it's dark, you've got no electricity, it's just awful, isn't it? Let's see, the 7 signs in the Revelation. So for anybody who knows anything about the Bible, which I'm not familiar with the Bible really, but there are, the last book of the Bible is the book of Revelations, isn't it? A lot of people know a bit about the Revelations because of the, the number of the beast, 666, etc. A lot of films have been made, haven't there, like The Omen, etc., about the book of Revelation. But these are supposedly the last 7 signs of Revelation according to the Bible. The woman clothed with the sun, the great red dragon, the signs performed by the land beast with horns like a lamb, the land beast whose power comes from the sea beast. And then the 7 chalices full of plagues. God, well, we've got enough bloody plagues that we've had COVID. They all keep going on about monkeypox, and they're always telling us some plague going on, isn't it? Ebola or what the other ones that we've had, bird flu, you name it. So a lot of people sort of relate those things. I must admit, when COVID happened, I did wonder if that was part of this. Anyway, the spirits of demon signs, the false prophet signs, but there's supposed to be, when let's have a look. A lot of people believe that we are in the end of days. Of course, there's plenty of films about it as well. What happens in the end of days? Oh, sorry, I didn't know there's always a series on Netflix, isn't there, or a film on Netflix about everything you ever look up. So apparently there's an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, and then on Netflix? Yeah, there's loads of films and series. What is End of Days about on Netflix? Okay. I'm looking for the real End of Days. Well, not that when I say the real one, what does the Bible say about the end of days? Don't want the movie. It keeps coming up about the movie. I feel like we're living in a bloody movie. Right, so what is the sign of the last days or end times? So, war, famine, earthquakes. Good God, sound familiar? No, it does make you wonder, doesn't it? So the Bible, let me just share this. The Bible describes events, conditions, and attitudes that would mark the conclusion of the current system of things or the end of the world. The Bible calls this time period the last days and the time of the end, or the end times. So the Bible foretold many things that together would be the sign to identify the last days. War on a large scale. Jesus foretold nation will rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom. Similarly, Revelation 6:4 foretold a symbolic horseman representing warfare that would take peace away from the earth. Famine. Jesus foretold there will be food shortages. And the book of Revelation foretold an additional symbolic horseman. There's all these horsemen of the apocalypse, aren't there? I need to look into, I don't know a lot about this, but maybe I'll do a video later on, further down the line when I've done more research on it. So there's also a horseman whose ride would result in famine on a large scale. Great earthquakes. Well, we've had a lot of big earthquakes. We've had loads here. Only little ones though. Jesus said there would be earthquakes in one place after another, and these great earthquakes around the world would cause suffering and loss of life on an unprecedented scale. Disease. According to Jesus, there would be pestilences or epidemics of terrible diseases. Crime. Although crime has existed for centuries, Jesus foretold that in the last days there would be an increasing of lawlessness. God, it all sounds familiar, this, doesn't it? Look at this. Ruining of the earth. Revelation 11:18 foretold that mankind would be ruining the earth. They would do so in many ways, not only through violent and corrupt actions, but also by bringing harm to the environment. Deteriorating attitudes. The Bible foretold that people in general would be unthankful, disloyal, not open to any agreement. I do think it's a bit like that in politics now, isn't it? We've got the American election coming up, and it's like, you've got the bloody Democrats describing the Republican voters as garbage. You've got, Trump supporters sort of just not wanting any dissent. You're either Trump or, it's like whatever happens, Trump's going to win this election, isn't it? Because even if he doesn't win it, him and all his supporters will say it's a fix. You just think, God, what is so tribal, isn't it now, politics? People can't just accept other people's point of view. They can't debate about things. It's just either I'm right, and if you don't think I'm right, I'm going to shoot you or whatever. There's definitely an intolerance of other people's opinions, isn't there? It's like so too tribal, really. So the Bible foretold that people in general would be unthankful, disloyal, not open to any agreement. I find that, even in the wars that are going on and things, there's no peace talks. There's no nobody's trying to stop the wars. They're just throwing more money at it, more weapons, more normal people are dying, children are dying. Without self-control, fierce, without love of goodness, betrayers, headstrong, puffed up with pride. These attitudes would reach such extremes that the era could rightly be described as critical times, hard to deal with. Breakdown of the family. The Bible foretold that many people would have no natural affection for their family and that children would be disobedient to parents. Diminished love of God. Jesus foretold the love of the greater number will grow cold. Jesus meant that love for God will grow cold in most people. Likewise, Timothy says that in the last days, such ones would be lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God. Well, of course, society has become so much more secular, hasn't it? It has become more secular. Hi, Heather. I hope you're right. I hope the aliens do come down and beam us up before the end of times. Hi, ACW. Oh. Yeah, we're talking about the apocalypse this morning. Have you know nice cheerful stuff? The thing is, I just think that's why every morning you've just got to, count your blessing that you've even opened your eyes, really. Because, and then when you look what those people are opening their eyes to, I mean, how awful. They probably woke up this morning and thought, oh, I hope it's not, what's the matter? They probably woke up this morning and thought, God, I wish it was all a bad dream. That they were actually literally waking up from. Right, let's go back to this. So, diminished love, religious hypocrisy. The Bible in Timothy, the Bible foretold that people would appear to worship God, but would not truly live by his standards. Oh my God, well, that's all those bloody religious pastors, like giant prick pastor Miller, JP Miller, and lots of, I think I've said to you before, if ever I'm watching any true crime video, as soon as they say that they were a pastor or they were church going every Sunday or whatever, I just say, oh, they did it, definitely, because, so many people like saying they're people of God, saying that they're speaking, for God, and then really they're hypocrites, they've got, we're all human beings, aren't we? Nobody's the perfect person, but someone who's up there in a pulpit, like telling people what they should do. Prime example to me is the Pope, the Archbishop of Canterbury, all telling people what to do with their lives, and they're living in riches. That, what is it supposed to be harder to fit a camel through the eye of a needle than a rich man to enter, or woman, to enter the kingdom of heaven. You've got the Pope sat there in the Vatican telling people what they can and can't do, telling people in Africa they shouldn't take contraception or whatever, or telling, you've got the Archbishop of Canterbury, what was he saying, that we should feel sorry for Prince Andrew or something, and there he is sat in all that wealth and opulence. That in itself, is just wrong, isn't it? Don't get me going about religion. Anyway, increased understanding of Bible prophecies. The book of Daniel foretold that in the time of the end, many would gain increased knowledge of Bible truth, including accurate understanding of these prophecies. It's quite freaky, actually, because a lot of people have been leaving me messages saying, that they've started looking through the Bible, etc. I think I'm going to have to read the Bible. I have read bits of the Bible over the years, but I have never read the Bible properly. A global preaching work. Jesus foretold this good news of the kingdom will be preached in all the inhabited earth. Widespread apathy and ridicule. Jesus foretold that people in general would ignore the overwhelming evidence of the approaching end. Well, have you seen that? What's that film, Don't Look Up? People are denying climate change, aren't they? They're denying. There'll be people out there now saying, no, this is not to do with climate change. And the thing is that has happened in Valencia. It has never happened before. You know, we do get gota frias in Spain. We do get bad rains, and we always have done. You know, that's just part of the weather cycle. But it's intensified, hasn't it? Everything's intensified, doubled, trebled. So Peter said some would ridicule the evidence, dismissing it completely. Didn't Donald Trump deny COVID change, climate change? And all prophecies fulfilled. Jesus said that the last days would be marked by the simultaneous fulfillment of all these prophecies, not just a few or even most of them. So now bear in mind, I have to, what is this site? Because it's the Jehovah's Witness organization. I thought they didn't believe in Jesus. I'm getting confused as to what Jehovah's Witnesses are. But are we living in the last days? According to these, we are. World conditions as well as Bible chronology indicate that the last days began in 1914, the year that World War I began. And to see our world conditions indicate that we are living in the last days, watch the following video. Shall we have a look at the video? Let's see how long it is. Oh, it's only a short. Now, I'm not trying to convert you into being a Jehovah's Witness. When I found that, I didn't even know it was about Jehovah's Witness. I'm just trying to explain to you what people think about the last days. And what do you think? Does it fit in with what's going on? Oh my God, so that is just what we've seen in Spain. Maria, yes, we do have a church. Every Spanish village has a little church. But you know what? I don't know if I've told you the story about that church, because I mean, I don't go to church. I've been in that church a couple of times, but I don't like it. I don't like the priest. Well, it might be a different priest now. I can't be doing with priests who, you know, telling people what to do. And when we've watched this video, I'll tell you a little story about that church, which you might find sort of funny. Look, earthquakes and floods. Oh, so they're talking about the Jehovah's Witnesses going around and preaching the kingdom in all parts of, Jehovah's Witness, just another religion as far as I'm concerned, and all religions are bad in my religions I'm talking about. I'm not saying I believe in God, I believe in a higher power, I'm very spiritual, but I don't believe in religions. Religions always cause more problems than anything. The one who endures to the end will be saved. And I especially don't like these religions that set themselves up to be better than everybody else. Like if you're not in our club, you're going to hell. You don't decide who goes to hell or not. God decides who goes to hell, or the higher power, or, we know when we're doing things. Your whole life is about choices between good and bad. Maybe we won't in our lives do anything truly evil. That's a different thing, isn't it? Like serial killers or people that abuse children, etc. That's a different level of evil, or people that hurt animals or vulnerable people or anyone. That's a different sort of hell, if you like, that you go to. But most of us, just normal people, we do bad things. I've done loads of bad things in my life. Not terrible, like not against the law and stuff like that, but just things where you knew you were perhaps not very nice to someone, and you know afterwards you thought, oh, I shouldn't have said that, or I shouldn't have done that, or we've all, I haven't been an angel in my life by any way, shape, or form, but I believe in personal responsibility. I believe in karma as well. God, I've had karma come back at me so many times. I think I have had my fill of karma. And what I found is when you just let things go, it's something that's happened actually quite recently. I had some problems that sometimes you just think, oh my God, this is never going to get any better, and you give up hope, don't you? But you know what? Sometimes it's when you give up, when you hand it over. That's what they say, you should hand it over, because you've got to carry on doing what you can. Obviously, you can't just sort of let things aren't going to happen unless you do something as well. But it definitely everything is different. So I do believe in that. But I don't like these religions that say, oh, we're all going to heaven, but you're not, because you're not a Jehovah's Witness. I don't believe in that. Some people will. Jehovah's Witnesses, I suppose they do believe in it, but I don't believe in that. And I believe in my, I've got to face my own, when it comes to the end of my life, I've got to face my own, face responsibility for anything that I did in life that I didn't try and make up for later, or I didn't get my karma back from in life. There may be things, there won't be terrible things, but, and then other people, they've got bigger things, people who really did terrible things to other people or to animals or whatever. They're going to have some big big karma coming to them, or if they don't find it in this life. This is my actual belief. I really do believe it. If people don't get their judgment in this life, they definitely get it in the next. And I would say to anyone who thinks, anyone who's done something really bad and thinks, oh, well, it don't matter as long as I don't get caught for it, you will get caught for it sooner or later. And if you don't, a lot of those kind of people would probably say to me, oh, a load of rubbish, don't believe in afterlife, don't believe in this, that, and the other. Well, are you 100% sure? Are you 100% sure? Don't you want to go to your, go to meet your maker with a clear conscience, as clear as it can be? And I often wonder what, like killers and things, especially serial killers, what do they go through in their last moments? Are they thinking, oh, well, there's no other, I don't have to pay the piper in the next life, it doesn't matter. Or when it comes to it, someone like Ted Bundy, as he was going down for execution, his legs gave way. He was so shitting himself, he couldn't even walk, because he was scared, because he was a clever guy, an intelligent guy, and he must have been part of him inside thinking he didn't know whether he was literally going to hell or not. Who knows? But I bet he was thinking, oh my God, because he didn't know what was going to face him on the other side, did he? I mean, none of us know exactly, which is quite scary in itself. But if you've not done anything terrible, or if you've done things but you try and make up for them in this life, it's got to help, hasn't it? So the one who endures to the end will be saved, will it? Well, so no, I don't want, if you're out there and you are a Jehovah's Witness, I don't want to think, that's your choice. That's your choice to your religion. Religion is a choice. You get the religion you're born into with your family and everything, but somewhere along the line, you can either drop out of religion altogether, or you can change your religion, become a Muslim, become a Christian, become a Buddhist, whatever. That's choice, isn't it? But, we have to be tolerant of people and their beliefs and their religions. As long as somebody doesn't try and make me think a certain way, if somebody wants to be a Jehovah's Witness or a Mormon or whatever, that's, up to them. But please don't try and make me do it as well. Somebody's now, Marcus. Now, we don't mention other channels on this channel. We don't want to start an argument, do we? Okay, so so what do you think? Are we in the end of days? Does that mean I don't have to pay my mortgage? Because if it is going to be an apocalypse, what's the bloody point anyway? It's like just, oh dear. It feels like it, doesn't it? When you see scenes like those scenes from Spain, it does feel like it. It feels like something's going on. Which is quite scary for young people, isn't it? So you've got people like Greta Thunberg blaming all older people. I mean, it's not other older people's fault because people didn't know. There's no good blaming. It's like blaming someone for, I don't know, like blaming someone for doing something that they didn't even know they weren't supposed to do. We are. You can't go back 20 years and say. 20 or 30 years and say, oh, don't use that plastic or whatever. We didn't know whether you should use plastic or not. And in fact, we never did. In sort of maybe 30 years ago, plastic wasn't used that much, was it? The plastic has come into its own in the past 15 years, really. And plastic, it does serve a lot of good purposes as well, because it's cheap. So there's people out there, plastic, it's like everything else, isn't it? It's got its good points as well, but it's this single-use plastic, isn't it? I think it was good what they did getting rid of the carrier bags or making people pay for their carrier bags. That was a good thing, of course, but people were up in arms. Not me, I don't care, but I remember some of my students that were fuming that they had to pay for carrier bags. But it's worked, it's helped out, etc. Hi, Shelley. Yeah, Nightbot's keeping you all in order. Nightbot's keeping you all in order. I've got to get the... I need to put in some banned words like other channels, but I think people know that they're not supposed to mention other channels. Sometimes people that mention other channels, they're doing it on purpose just to wind everybody up, or maybe they're not who they say they are. Anyway. Okay. Oh, Shelley, I'm just finishing now, but you can always catch up. But it's nice to see you on here. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you, everyone that's been here. Well, I'm going to put on the video again. I'm not going to comment on it. I'm just going to leave it to play. And we can still chat in the chat. But we'll watch the video. Those of you who haven't seen it. I'm going to finish off with the video. I'm not going to comment, as I say, and then at the end, I'm going to finish it. Okay? So yeah, Heather, I know who you are. But there are a lot, I tell you, there's a lot of other YouTubers out there that have false accounts. They're called alts, and they go into different people's streams and just try and stir things up. There's a lot of that about as well. So, you know, do you think people would have something better to do, really? I mean, how sad does your life have to be, really, if all you want to do is go and wind other people up? It's really quite sad, isn't it? Oh God, Heather, you'd be surprised. I know of a lot of them, but I don't talk about them, or I wouldn't name anybody, but I know lots. But I don't get involved in it because that's what they want, attention. Disruption. Let's put some music on in the background, I think.
Después de 3 días hemos encontrado una persona con vida dentro de un coche. Con lo cual...
So this was the good news one, wasn't it, where they'd found someone alive after 3 days. I'm going to put some nice music. Shut up, shut up. Hey. say, like as Heather was saying about donating money, I think it is items at the moment that is the trouble with money, donating money. One, you don't know it's going to the right place for you. I don't know what the official, if there's an official, normally the local municipalities and the government and the European Union will help with that kind of thing. But what people are going there to do is help with the clearing up, and they're taking. I noticed that there was one guy, when they were showing the people go over the bridge and that, they were like, there was loo roll. It's always toilet roll, isn't it? Whenever there's a catastrophe, what's the thing everybody needs is loo roll, for God's sake. That's the one thing everybody, it's a natural thing. You have to go to the loo, don't you? And if you haven't got any loo roll, you haven't even got a proper toilet. I mean, it must be just can't imagine. It must be awful. Anyway. Right, hang on. I found, I don't know if Heather's still there, but I found the Spanish Red Cross, how to help those affected. So, this how to help those affected by the Dana in the Valencia region. So of course there's all the collection points for food, and like you can't do that obviously because you're not in the same country. But it does say donate clothing to with like nappies and things like that. They need everything, all these basic things, help for the dogs and the cats, etc. So you can go and give blood, but obviously if you're not in the country you can't. So it says the Valencia Red Cross has enabled different telephones. I think these are only numbers. Oh look, there's a bank account, but there's Spanish, it's all in Spain. There's a number there, 900 10 49 71. There's Zoom, I don't know if you do it in the UK, but that's an instant way. But I think all these are in Spain, not for all over, not international. But anyway,